Hi YouTube, it's Kathy and this is my weekly entertainment wrap-up for March 25th to 31st. I am dog-sitting at a different location than I usually live in, and it's noisy, so be forewarned there might be sounds. This week I read 2 books, I watched 1 movie, I watched 1 show, and I listened to 1 book. First this week I read The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. I am devastated that I can't read the second one immediately because it's not out until October. I'm late to the trend on this one because I don't always like to read the popular books because they're popular, but the hype for this book is well deserved. This book follows Monty on his 18th century version of a gap year with his best friend Percy, who is also his secret crush, and his sister Felicity, who always has her nose in a novel. Devilishly handsome and first son to a lord, Monty has a great deal of privilege over his biracial best friend and his little sister. And in a lot of ways, this book is about him realizing that. At the same time, the audience comes to realize that just because somebody's life is privileged in some ways does not mean it's not completely crap in others. This was a glorious adventure tale, a wonderful romance with the perfect balance of gadzookery for a contemporary audience. The next novel follows Felicity, and as previously stated, I am excited. The other physical book I read this week was Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. Now, I've known about Maureen Johnson for some time. I've seen her speak before and convince a group of about 3,000 people to sing a song called Butts for Breakfast to the tune of the Indiana Jones theme. I had just never gotten around to reading anything by her before I saw this intriguingly titled tome, which is the first in a series. I loved this book. I identified with the character in the prologue that I thought was going to be the protagonist. I identified with the actual protagonist. I'm consumed by the mysteries in this book and I need the next one. This story is about a girl who is accepted to this strange high school in the Vermont mountains. The school is free to get in and was started by an eccentric movie studio owner in the 1930s. There was also a set of murders there which serves our protagonist Stevie just fine given she studies cold cases and criminology. She also hopes to solve the mystery of the academy given she doesn't think the FBI got it right. I'm drawn in, I want more, and I'm excited to read more of Maureen's books now that I've jumped in. I laughed a lot at the jokes and the sentence structure, and if you like mysteries, read this. This week in Survivor, the teams were mixed up again, resulting in 3 new groupings, and a continuation of Malolo being sent to Tribal Council. No one went to Ghost Island, which probably happened because each team is now very small. This week, a few people from my local book club went to see Love, Simon. I enjoyed this, I laughed, I had the feels. If you haven't seen this already, go see it. Having recently reread the book on which it's based, I was left pondering why some of the changes happened. To be clear, I am fine with the changes they made. I'm just honestly curious about the decision process behind changing things like which musical they were doing, because although I love cabaret, it's not usually the type of show they let you do in high school. I'm also curious about changing the pacing of the plot given that Simon and Blue had been emailing for months when the book opened, and went immediately into Martin's extremely indecent proposal. I continued to love the crap out of Miss Albright. I understand why they cut the bar scene. I'm not sure how I feel about putting more blame on Simon for manipulating his friends, or how they changed his dynamic with Leah, but can see why things needed to change for an adaptation. I just find the changes fascinating. This is not me whining that things were different, this is me remarking on it and pondering reasons why. This week I listened to Erotic Stories for Punjabi Widows by Balikaur Jaswal. One of the fun things about listening to a book and then talking about it is having to look up how the character names are spelled because I want them to be accurate in the closed captions. Nikki lives in London and is the daughter of Indian immigrants who were none too pleased when she dropped out of law school because she wasn't passionate about it. While she is trying to find something about which she is passionate, she applies to be a creative writing teacher at the Punjabi Community Centre. The woman who set up the classes kind of tricked her. The flyers were for a creative writing course, but none of the widows that signed up for the classes are literate, and Nikki tries to adjust to teaching them how to read and write. All but one of them are uninterested and just want to tell stories. And oh, the stories they tell. This book was a great mixture of erotic stories, a few community mysteries, a romance, and empowerment of women to stand up for what they want. I really enjoyed that there were several threads going at once. Each character had reasons to poke around in each other's business. The point of view often switched between Nikki and her employer, who wanted the classes to go well so that she would look good in front of her male colleagues. So she does not know that they are writing smut. Something I really loved was the characters saying that, of course, erotica exists, but they've never really seen it with them reflected in it. The secret class gave them a chance to tell their own stories. And that's it for this week. If you've read, watched, or listened to any of these, please let me know about it down in the comments below. On the way down to the comments, if you hit that subscribe button, that would be very nice of you. You can like and share this as you see fit, and I will see you next time. Bye!